Well, I guess the best way to do this is to do it. Get into it here. Okay. I'm using a knife that I can carve around my shapes pretty reasonably clearly with. And yeah, I think I'm going to stay away from the strong structure. You can see that I have some shape in the wash end, but I think that we're gonna move away from that a little bit, or not move away from it, but make it fuzzy, and not worry too much about staying in the lines, I guess you would say. Or staying between the lines. Using a little bit of yellow ochre now. Yellow ochre and alizarin crimson and white. This hill, our large mass, our upthrust, will be countered by the treetop and also somewhat loosely by the sky. Oh, I think I should have maybe loaded my palette a little more heavily. Bit of pink there. Oh, look at all the junk in that. What happened there? Okay, let's try that again. That's a little better. Going too light too quickly. Get back to our yellow ochre here. And I think a bigger knife. And so I don't know where that contamination came from, but it seemed like for a moment there I almost had sand in my paint. That was very strange. And I don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to wipe off my little pile there, and I'm going to load some fresh paint onto my palette. Okay. Back with some paint. And let's clean up this mess here. I'm getting a little bit too messy, I think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm worrying too much about it. These thoughts are always going through a person's head when you're painting. Well, mine anyway. I can't speak for you. Okay, the really big knife I was talking about, I don't think I'm going to use that in the sky. I'm going to reserve that for this large area in the foreground for some of the stronger strokes. put some purple in too, a little ultramarine blue. A little ultramarine blue and a little bit of alizarin crimson. And you know, because I've got a yellow ochre in here too, if I have one little bit of yellow ochre and that happens to marry with the ultramarine blue, then we end up with a little patch of green. You know, just part of a stroke. It's fine. Keeps things rich, keeps things alive. Letting a little bit of ultramarine blue just sort of poke through here and there. Might be a little too blue, that's fine. I can just do away with it when I want to. Or leave it if it looks okay. Just laying it on, and we'll get it more organized as needs be. Okay. You know, you lay it on, you scrape it off, you lay it on, you scrape it off. All within the same couple of strokes. Not everywhere, but that often happens, as you can see. Okay, I think we have some nice sky candy going on here right now. And hopefully eye candy as well. Make sure that I keep this color going in other parts of the painting here. Just stay with that color for a bit yet. See, so there are not a huge number of colors I'm using. I'm just being kind of selective as to or selective. I'm under mixing them, so to speak. Trying to keep them alive. That's my story, at least. Okay, I'm gonna get back to my carving knife here and use the smaller one. I find I don't want an unbroken line here. I want it to be somewhat jagged, so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Playing kind of fast and loose with some of the lines that I've already established in the interests of keeping things loose on the painting. And then suddenly you come across a crossbar. And you end up with some funny stroke that you have to correct. That's fine. Let's see here. Keep dipping into that same pile, and every time I dip in, the pile becomes a little more mixed. And the look of the strokes becomes a little less rich. That's when you know it's time to put some fresh paint in that pile. Excuse me. Well, I'm just working my way to the edge here. I kind of like the idea of bringing this down and then warming this area up as well. Actually, I'm going to warm it up even more. A little bit of yellow ochre and a little more alizarin crimson. Break up a few spots here. And then getting away from those colors a little bit on the edge, because as usual, we don't want too much intensity on the edge of the painting. So I just gotta sort of find a balance between how do I want it and how do I want it. Yeah, more or less. I think that's what we're after. I've reintroduced this bush in the corner. Again, in the interest of, because I have this straight line, no, I want more vertical stuff. So, put a hump on the end here, and I think that helps things quite a bit, actually. Let me just trade knives a moment and lay some of these colors in as well. Add a little more ultramarine blue again. I'm going a little darker purple because we are at the edge. Put some yellow ochre and alizarin crimson working in here again. A little more white. That's a bit dark. Okay. Careful you don't cut your canvas. I've been very lucky so far. Lucky, fortunate. Okay, I've been careful. That's what it comes down to. Oops. That's a bit bright. Still a bit bright. Okay, let me clean up a little bit here, because as I've mentioned in the past, you lay ridges when you're painting, when you're carving against some of your darker lines. You lay ridges, and that will work against you when the paint becomes dry and you want to paint in the foreground. Foreground clearly is not going to be painted in today. It's just too big a painting to cover that much territory. I'm already pushing my luck by committing to the entire sky, because that's a fair bit of work. I'll probably publish this Sunday, because I don't see any point in publishing it tonight in the middle of the night. And I'm quite sure I'm not going to be done until quite a bit later. Boy, did I misjudge that. You know what? I need to scrape my pile off my palette and put on some fresh, clean paint here. That's better. There we go, just hints of it. Dropping down, okay. Even here, let's begin to bring those colors a little closer to the horizon. Getting a little bit blendy. Without fussing. Okay, I think that's not bad. Excuse me, I'm gonna give this knife a wipe though, because I want to use it. Oops. Okay, I'm already falling into the trap of playing and playing and playing. What's nice about this is I didn't play. You have to play a little bit in tighter areas, you know, where you haven't been able to sort of flail around, where you have to carve more cleanly against objects. But yeah, that's heading in the right direction. Well, I mixed up a little bit of ultramarine blue and raw umber and alizarin crimson, and I'm kind of leaning in the direction of blue, as you can see, but I'm putting this in here near the top. Near the top of the, you know, the brightly colored sky. Grab my other knife here. And I think I have to adjust. No, I guess I can leave the camera the way it is. So I'm bringing this across above this fairly intense area. I love the colors in here. Love them. Now I could keep playing with those same colors all over the sky. But what I would end up with is so much of the same type of colors, this would lose its impact. You know, I'd be bringing high value, high chroma colors, high temperature colors right towards the top of the sky. Instead, I decided to go bluish so that a person would think, okay, there's some blue sky behind there. This ambient sort of, as I said before, I think moisture in the sky picking up light here and there, feathers its way up in behind these trees, because we don't want to, you know, we'll have nice hard lines on these trees. They'll stand out and they'll jump out from the sky here. And as we come into the central area here, had I continued with these colors up high, I would be pulling away from the focal area, and I want to keep that down here, you know, I want to stay a little bit lower with it. So I'm going to continue with this, you know, this sort of bluish, slightly purplish, dirty gray, heading up into this direction. And then as we come over to the left-hand side of the painting, I may resume some of these other purples that are down here. But this looks more impactful because it works against this, which is less impactful. The two have to work together. You can't just say, well, you know, this looks nice, I'll just keep putting more of it in and it'll get better, because it doesn't. Eventually it just gets worse. And then you'll wonder, well, where did I had all that strength, you know? Where did that strength go? So it's always a bit of a game, playing one color off the other color, and just see how it goes from there. Well, today's gone very well. Better than I expected. So I think I'm going to publish my second video of the day. And the day's far from over, so I might even do a tidy up one tomorrow or publish it tomorrow. So I was talking about I was using raw umber, ultramarine blue, and a bit of alizarin crimson over here to keep things toned down, especially the addition of raw umber, okay, behind these trees. As I move to the left, I'm using less and less raw umber, and I'm just going to ultramarine blue and a bit of alizarin crimson. By the time I get against this cloud, I'll have pretty much no raw umber in here, you know, where I go adjacent to it. And off to the left, I'm going to gradually blend in these colors with these. It'll slowly become that. So, you know, although it's still sort of sticking with that theme of sort of a ambient refraction and reflection of light, I ended up with a pretty strong shape in here, more than I expected to. It's got a ways to go, you know. I haven't even painted in this area and behind these trees and what have you, but I'm really happy with how it's gone. In fact, I'm gonna hop off of the chair and I'm gonna just take the camera and I'm gonna zoom in a little bit to show some of the knife work, some of the structure of that. Trying to stay loose. Sorry about my horrible camera work here, but okay, that's how it sits for now. Talk to you soon.